everybody, welcome back to another one of our videos. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we will be shooting a video on me interviewing my dad on Red Hill, because we received news lately that it's been the fastest growing media agency globally, and so because of that I will be asking questions about Red Hill that I've wanted to know for a while, and hopefully you guys have been too. Yeah, so let's get to asking the questions. So my first question is, why did you start Red Hill?
Thanks, Mary, for having me on another interview. I think our first interview was on why I have 3 diplomatic passports, and I think now it's got some 11,000 views, so it's one of our best performing videos. We are not the fastest growing, but every year there used to be this website called the Huffington Post. Sorry, not Huffington. There used to be a website called the Holmes Report that lists out all the fastest growing agencies in the world. Last year we were the fastest growing in Asia Pacific, and fastest in actually outside of the US. And if you count the 2 agencies in the US, we were the 3rd fastest growing. So this year we are not the fastest. There is in Asia there is another agency in Myanmar who's smaller than us but has grown faster. But we are in the top 15 globally in the list. As companies grow every year, their rate of growth organically declines. So if you grow from 100,000 to a million, that's like 10x growth. But then the next year you grow to another million, your growth is only double. So we grew in those kind of things. We grew last year about 59%.
So why did you start it?
Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to answer that. I started Red Hill because I've always been on and off in the comms industry. So I used to write, edit, then I was in-house for a company, then I worked for agencies, I worked in the government. So when we moved to Singapore, I thought that it's a good time to start a business. Singapore is a very good place to start a business. And also I was approaching, in my mid-30s to my 40s period. So if I wanted to start something, that was like, the best time to start it. So I just took a plunge and started it.
What did you learn from building Red Hill?
Wow, so every day is a learning, because it's like a video game. No, every day you have new challenges, you have new issues, you have new problems that come up. So there's a lot of learning. I think business-wise, there's a lot of learning on how to manage the business, the numbers, invoice, what kind of clients, how to pitch for your new business, how to do the work, things like that. It's a business of relationships. So public relations is a business of relationships. So knowing a lot of people, managing their expectations and things like that. More than that, it's also how to manage your team, and that is always very dynamic. There are different. Every person is different. Every person's goals, ambitions are different. Their motives are different within your organization. So how do you manage those kind of people? So that is something that requires constant learning. Yeah.
What is the most interesting thing that Red Hill has done that you didn't expect to happen?
Well, there's a lot of interesting things I hope that we have done, but I think there are, when you start a business, you do everything in the beginning, right? And as the company grows, you have to let go and entrust other people to do things. And for me, that has been one of the greatest learnings, and I have seen like Tian in Germany, Pranav in Singapore, and they have grown. I don't interfere in their day-to-day operations and things. In Germany there are more than 5 people now. Pranav's team here in Malaysia is more than 10. So these are people who have worked very hard and grown the business.
How long did it take to build Red Hill? Like before you reached a certain milestone, how long did it take?
We are still building Red Hill, so
No,
I don't think we have finished anywhere. But I would say that every few months was a milestone. You know, getting the first major client was a milestone, like a retained client, somebody who pays you every month.
How long did that take?
We didn't start the company till we had one retainer client. So that was a milestone. And then when we had 3 clients, it was a milestone. When we got our first office, we only took our office after we had 3 or 4 clients. So then that was a milestone. When we hired our first employee, it was a milestone.
Who was your first employee?
I think it was someone, if my memory corrects, I have to look at it because it was very short term, because soon after our first hiring we also had our first firing. So but at the initial time, I would say that a lot of people who were there in the initial time is not there with us now. I think it's because we didn't know how to hire properly. We were not a big company, so we hired people who were willing to work and these things. But as the company grew fast, some of these people couldn't adapt with our growth. You know, so either they left or we had to let them go. Yeah.
What are some difficulties that Red Hill had to go through?
Oh, yeah. Every milestone was, either preceded or, this thing with a difficulty. So getting the first client was difficult, and then we got our first client. Getting the first office was difficult. Hiring our first person was difficult. Firing our first person was difficult. Staff leaving was difficult. People we didn't want them to leave. So they used to be poached by larger agencies and things. So yeah, there are difficulties every week or every day. There are difficulties that come up. But I think what makes you succeed in business is how you deal with these difficulties.
What's one thing you should have told your past self, just before you started building Red Hill, or while you were reaching that first milestone?
In hindsight, I would have told myself that just relax a lot more. I think I got worked up for small issues. Also, there are areas of business that I need better understanding. And so, for example, for finance and things like that, so it's something I need to get better understanding of.
Now, our last question is, where does the name Red Hill come from?
So, Red Hill name comes from, it's the legend of Red Hill, Bukit Merah. So you can Google it.
I know the story.
Yeah, so we'll actually put the link of that YouTube on, in the description for this. So it's based on a character who overcome a serious issue using creativity and innovation that nobody else was thinking about. And since it's a local hero, we wanted that to be the symbol of our business. So our overall ambition is to be a Singaporean agency that is global but with strong Asian roots. Yeah, so right now the global agencies that are all from the Western world, or dominating in one particular region, like Dentsu is in Japan, and a lot of American Western agencies. So we want to be a global agency. We are in 14 countries now. We are about 85 people. So we want to make sure that we keep growing like this. So we want to become like a DBS or Singapore Airlines of the PR world, that the whole world knows about. The whole world knows it's from Singapore, but it's world-class quality, and it's like a brand ambassador for Singapore.
That's very interesting. I learned a lot from this interview. I hope you guys did too. The video will be up soon. Be sure to like, share, and comment on what you thought and more videos that you want to see. Do stay safe and watch all our other videos. And do check out the story of Red Hill in the description below. See you!
Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel.
You have to say loudly.
Okay, wait. I have to start the video.
You don't have to start. I can edit it out.
Hello everybody.
Hey, What's with your voice? No, you have to speak loud.
Fine.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel.
Okay, you're not doing it properly, Mary.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah.
But you have oil in it.
Yeah, it looks nice. Okay.
It's recording. It's recording.
3,
Wait.
no,
Introduction
don't-
is
no,
hello
introduction.
everyone.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Back to Joe's. Today, I'm going to interview my dad and ask him questions about his company and how he is progressing during this COVID.